Well, now that I have your attention, you saw the show last night, right? Let's talk about the important things, shall we? Let's talk about what unites us, not what divides us, because lurking in the dark corners of the D.C. swamp, the swampland that's home to the likes of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and the Squadsters, are the Dems and their extremist friends on the left, looking to peddle a narrative about the right to serve their agenda, to smear you, conservative voters who believe in freedom and protecting those freedoms. And that's right, they really want to destroy American exceptionalism. And their agenda, since Barack Obama took office in January of 2009, was always to change the country for the worst.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Oh, yeah, he said it, and he meant it. Obama, Hillary, Biden, the Dems, intent on destroying a winning formula. And make no mistake about it, they will lose the fight. That weak argument about changing America's future, that argument is steeped in lies, and they know it. While Joe Biden thanks Vladimir Putin for sky-high gas prices and inflation, a problem that Joe himself actually created months and months ago. I'm giving credit to Putin for something else entirely. His invasion of Ukraine has made it very clear what we should be fighting for here, right here at home. We're petrified of talking about the return of a Cold War, but maybe we need to bring back the focus on American values, American goals, and to bring American exceptionalism back into focus and to unite Americans. We are on the right side of this. Trust that. Right now, we're watching a country fight for democracy on the other side of the ocean, and believe you me, we are fighting for it right here at home, too. With brains and brawn, we're fighting for individual rights, market economies, constitutional rules, values, reason, and basic decency. Those values are superior to those that are maintained through force, internal fear, propaganda, and widespread corruption. But those values have become synonymous with the left. And we're onto them. All Americans are onto them. Force and fear, don't worry, the Dems, they have the left, they got that covered for you. You know how they say that stressful situations tend to bring out the best or worst in people? The pandemic certainly showed us exactly who they are. It brought out the worst in the Democrats. And it brought out the truth in the Democrats, and that is this. They lie and instill fear to control you and to control every aspect of your life. What you read, what you write, what you say, how you live, what you're allowed to publish, what you're allowed to post on social media. The pandemic showed us every scary aspect of this party and what it stands for. Does it remind you of anything? Yes, it reminds us of oppressive governments in countries like China, Cuba, and the Soviet Union. Force and fear, like making people in cities think twice about going outside for fear of being robbed, assaulted, or even killed. And their answer? Fewer cops on the streets. Leniency for repeat criminals, letting illegal migrants with criminal records stay, letting them back on our streets. Force and fear. Oh yeah, the Dems have it covered for you there. And this man, George Soros, for better part or worse part of a decade, while Americans fight for this country, this billionaire has quietly been financing a revolution in criminal justice reform, doling out tens of millions of his dollars to leftist progressive candidates in district attorneys' races throughout the country to abolish bail and to defund police departments. Propaganda and corruption, the Dems, they got you covered there too. Look no further than woke culture and cancel culture. Sure, say whatever you want, but if you don't agree with them, you're canceled. But it's so much worse than that. Propaganda and corruption at the highest levels, like hiding a major story about the son of a president, the son of a lifelong politician, the very definition of a D.C. swampster, using his daddy's name to profit from a seedy and very questionable relationship with our adversary. Think about how many on the left tried to squash that story. Politicians, so-called D.C. intelligence, mainstream media, big tech. You want more propaganda? The left's got you covered there too, don't worry. Parents have no longer trust in one of the most important institutions of our country, our schools, because everything being taught to our small children, the future of our country, had an underlying agenda. They're obsessing about protecting a group that makes up less than 1/3 of 1% of the country than in protecting our own children, our young women, that schools would actually allow a repeated predator to attack young women in the bathroom at a school. And this, taking away a child's innocence and creating racial divides by actually making small kids think they're racist. Those are the values of the Democrat Party. And so we're clear. We know exactly what they stand for. You know what Joe Biden thinks? Joe Biden, president of our country and most fearful and useless leader of the free world, Joe thinks the Republican Party doesn't stand for anything.
I did not anticipate that there'd be such a stalwart effort to make sure that the most important thing was that President Biden didn't get anything done. Think about this. What are Republicans for? What are they for? Name me one thing they're for.
Checks notes. That's quite a statement from someone who's done all of Barack Obama's bidding to destroy the fabric of our country, to destroy each and every facet of American life since his first day in office. That's quite a statement coming from someone who's been floundering since his very first day on the job. On his inauguration day, on the day Joe Biden took office, he promised to unify.
My whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation.
Funny he should use the word soul, because Joe Biden has done everything in his power to destroy the soul of this country. Where Biden and his leftist cronies do nothing but attack American principles, they've also worked very hard to sap our national will, and every single move has been about dividing, not uniting. Think about it. The left has done nothing but use race to divide the country, not to heal it. Black Lives Matter, defund the police, critical race theory. Biden also says that Republicans are opposed to his agenda, but so are most Americans. And why shouldn't we be? Americans are paying for bad policies, paying at the pump, in stores. Americans are paying for bad policies with their safety and our lives. Americans are paying for bad policies with children's innocence. Our country doesn't want an entire generation of kids to lose their education and their futures. We don't want skyrocketing inflation stemming from trillions of dollars in wasteful spending that steals out from our wallets. We don't want an economy that's stuck in reverse and a government that's taking away our freedoms. We don't want more crime on our streets and more dead police officers. We don't want a country that's ashamed of itself and afraid to stand up for itself. And we don't want a president who's not so much leading from behind as sleeping and napping from behind. Americans deserve to see our country emerge stronger from the crisis after crisis that Joe Biden has worsened, created, or both. Every American wants our country's children to succeed and have the best shot at the best life. And that's why our party fights for our kids' education. Stop bringing your politics and your agenda into our classrooms, and stop trying to take the power and control away from our parents. We stand for keeping our classrooms open despite the attempted stranglehold of teachers' unions. And we fight for empowering families to choose the school that's best for them and for their kids. And we stand for ending school curriculum that essentially teaches discrimination and tells kids that some of them are oppressors and some of them are victims simply because of the color of their skin. Americans want and deserve an economy where their store shelves are stocked and where their paychecks get bigger and go further. An America where work beats welfare and where small businesses can become big deals. That's what's called capitalism, by the way, and that is what we stand for. And that, by the way, is the only system that can repair our economy that Biden and the Democrats have damaged so severely. Americans also deserve a government that doesn't just throw money at everything except for much-needed police. By the way, this country's families know better than the swampy politicians how to spend their own money. Republicans do not stand for the left's current socialist experiment. We're already seeing the disastrous results of that. Thanks, but no thanks. And certainly, each and every American deserves to walk down the street without fear. Republicans stand for public safety, and they stand for strong borders. We support our police, not calls to defund them. And Americans deserve strong leaders on the world stage. Our enemies, like Russia and communist China, they must be held accountable for their actions and crimes. Are you listening? Are you listening? The left are also trying so hard to emulate the worst parts of some of the most stifling governments in the world. Think about it. Stifling liberty, opportunity, free speech. There's absolutely no place for that here. And while the left concerns itself with what bathroom people should use, the right is concerned with keeping children safe, with stopping crime, with closing our borders. So Joe Biden, you want to know what the Republican Party stands for? Well, here's what I know for sure. Here's what the Republican parties are against. We're against the crime currently rampant in our big city streets. We're against the left destroying any semblance of order on our southern border. We're against the progressive socialist giveaways from the government that every single American family is now paying for. An English philosopher named Roger Scruton once said, quote, "Conservatism should be a defense of government against its abuse by liberals." Joe Biden, we've seen crisis after crisis. We've watched you destroy every aspect of the country. There is no confusion at all. We are quite clear on what Democrats stand for. And Joe, now do you want to know what the Republican Party really stands for? November, 6 months away. If you don't know what our party stands for now, you're certainly going to find out soon.